Hey there, Jared Jones, broker of Jones Group Real Estate. I'm excited to share with you some of my most critical tips for you as a homeowner to make sure that you get the very most that you can get from the sale of your home. So one of the things that I always talk to sellers about right as we are getting ready to hit the market is prepping their home for a video and prepping their home for the photography session. One thing you really need to know is that this process, this point in selling your home is one of the most important things that you can do to make sure that you do not have any hurdles to getting to the buyer faster. And you don't have any discounting and things of that nature that has to take place that's unnecessary, okay? One of the things I like to liken about this process of setting up your home for sale is keeping the buyer on green lights, keeping them from the point they see it online to the point they walk through the front door, to the point they walk each room, that there's nothing in the way that causes them to hit a caution light, a yellow light, or worse, a red light through the process. And so there's things that you probably are aware of in your home that a buyer should not see, okay? So there's things that are glaring and those need to be dealt with immediately before a buyer comes through your home. And there's certain things that just we have to prepare for in regards to photography. Now, this is the part that most sellers hate, is getting the home ready. And I understand it, and I don't mean to offend as I go through the steps of things here that you need to plan for, because we all live in our homes. If our home didn't have people living in it, and there weren't kids, and there weren't guests, then we could look like a model home. But the reality is that the moment we move into our homes, we start to use it, and as a result, we have to make it more neutralized and ready for a buyer to see it and a buyer to pay top dollar. So one of the things I want to share with you are the basics, okay? So number one, do not list your home. Do not have photography shot with burnt bulbs. You need to make sure that every light bulb in your home is working. If we shoot a chandelier and a bulb is burnt, then you have dark spots in your photography. Also, when you have vanities or bulbs that are visible, you don't want to have the weird spiral, energy efficient ones that are just ugly, okay? Very distracting for a buyer. You might be used to them, but seeing them bare hanging out of a light fixture is not what we need to have in the house. So make sure that there's no burnt bulbs, the fans, the lamps, everywhere there's light kit, make sure that those are ready. The next thing that you want to do is take down every bit of family photo, okay? So one of the basic things that we can start to do to declutter a home is getting down pictures of your family, pictures that are on nightstands, pictures that are hanging on the wall. And what this is very important in ways that you probably have not thought of. Remember, we're going to give you a global presence in the marketing of your home. So everybody's going to see this home. And so it's super important that if you have some stranger in another country, they can't zoom in to a living room photo and see a wedding picture and look at it. I mean, it's just kind of, there's a creep factor to that. But the more important thing is when we're showing your house, you don't want buyers distracted, okay, by looking at you, okay? So you don't want them to see your picture and get caught up on, who is that? Do I know them? Where are they in that picture? Have we gone on vacation there where they are? You don't want that kind of stuff. So number one, that will probably clear out a lot of clutter in your home, is taking down personal photos. Second and third and fourth, take down anything that you can help it that is branded, okay? That has religious or political iconography. There's those three things I just said. No branding, no religious iconography, and no political iconography, okay? So you may be of a certain faith. I am as well. But I would tell you, don't leave major religious icons up in the house, okay? Don't do it with branding, okay? If you have a Wheaties box and someone can recognize Wheaties, and I mean out in the open, okay? So think about it in common staging. There's a lot of people that store their cereal on top of their fridge, okay? Well, because I've said remove brands from common place, your house and the kitchen will be that much more clear. So no visible brands. In your closet, you're going to have brands. Ideally, no personal keepsake stuff out, and you're not going to have any religious iconery or political iconery. You got a major political figure and you have a massive portrait of them in your living room. Take it down, okay? So what we're trying to do is neutralize and not distract buyers, okay? So the next thing I want to share with you is when you're setting your home up to be shown, you do not want valuables out. So make sure you secure all valuables. In my 18, 19 years of selling real estate, I've never had an issue with someone taking something. Never, never, in 3,000 plus home sales. And I want to keep the track record, okay? Now, as agents, we're held to a very high standard for when we're walking around properties. So we want to make sure that that stuff is kept, put away, and it's very, it's hidden away where you can manage it. So let me go through this really quick, and I'm going to show you some photos of exactly what to do and what not to do as it relates to setting up your home for sale, okay? I'm going to give you 2 quick rules of thumb, and then I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in real terms. I'm going to show you before and after pictures of staging consults and how people dealt with those situations to get their home sold for the most amount of money. Here's the reality. Doing this right is going to put money in your pocket. Doing it right is going to get you more competition, a higher price, possibly a bidding war. Doing it wrong will cost you money, distract buyers, and it will, in the end, hurt your sale price. It'll hurt how fast it takes you to sell. Goodness knows you don't want to put your toothbrush away every single day, prep your house for showing every single day forever. It is a horrible process. It's no fun, okay? No one enjoys setting up their house, getting out, showing it. We want to get through that process as efficiently as we can for your own sanity, okay? So let's talk about this. You're putting things away. 2 good rules of thumb. And talking about, do I need a storage unit? Well, sometimes if you can get a storage unit, that's great, okay? Storage unit is best. What is better? Better is putting everything in the garage, putting it into a corner of the garage and building it out from there, getting as much in there as you possibly can. So storage, if you can offsite and you have a lot of things that need to be put away, offsite it. If you can't, garage. Beyond that, just get it out of the areas that you're in and put it into one space. So you're thinking about good, better, best. If best is storage and better is the garage, best is, Jared, I have no garage. I'm in a townhouse. I have no storage capacity. It's not going to happen for practical reasons. Put everything in the corner of one room. Take one space instead of it being in little bits and pieces and dribs and drabs all through your house. Park it in one space. Okay. Here's the 2 quick rules of thumb, and then I'm going to dive right in, show you before and afters of a house set up right, and you're going to have a really good idea of how your house should look. Number 1, you want to make sure that on tops, you're talking about nightstands, you're talking about sofa tables, you're talking about any type of shelving that's on a bookshelf or an entertainment area that displays things. You all know there's shelving and there's tabletops, okay? Here's the rule of thumb. When it's less than about 2 feet square, so we're talking nightstand or a shelf on a bookshelf that's just a small short shelf. When you're doing display on those items, you need 1 item on that size of space. So you're only dealing with 2 feet, 1 item, centerpiece, that's it. Get rid of everything else. When you're talking about sofa table, something that's a little bit longer, a dining room table, something that's over 2.5, 3 feet and beyond, literally at the max, try and book in 2 items on that piece, okay? 2 items, 1 on each end, bookended. So you have something on one end of the table, like a candelabra, and something on the other end. And then again, bathrooms and kitchens, you want bare. You want them very much bare. I'm going to show you examples of all this right now. So let me dive in. You're going to be able to see some examples as I'm pulling them up on the screen of before and after examples. Because listen, one of the things I want you to know is you're saying, hey, Jared, this is crazy that I got to go this much trouble to show my home. Some of you have been through the drill, so you're not as concerned about it. But let me tell you this. When you are showing your house and the day that we set up for photography, you don't have to be as sharp when the person's coming through the front door, okay? So let me say that again. We need 100% preparation for photography and video, because that is the cornerstone, the foundation for getting the whole world to know that your house exists and entice them to want to buy it. because if I can get them from the other side of a screen in through the front door, you get more forgiveness visually from the person's eye when they're standing there in your home in person. What that means is when they come to the house to see it, you can be about 70 to 80% put away as you were on the day that you shot the photography. Perfect example. On the day we shoot photography, please put the coffee maker away. Please put the small appliances away. On the day we show your house, the coffee maker doesn't have to be put away. There can be more things on the counter at that time, because when a person's standing there in person, there's less, the eye itself in three-dimensional live dimension has a better view of seeing how much space there is. When you're trying to get space on a photo, you have to really remove the obstacles that allow someone to see space, okay? So let's jump in. I'm gonna show you some different things. All right, so let me show you some before pictures of this house. This right here is a studio kitchen. This kitchenette that was actually in an in-law suite. But this is a quintessential photo that has all the no-nos in setting up a kitchen, okay? Here's the no-nos. Number one, do not leave magnets on your fridge. That is bad, super bad. The clean dishes are in the dish strainer. There's a bunch of appliances on the top. There's a bunch of junk stored here in the room on the right. Now, let's take a look at this again, okay? They couldn't put the microwave away, but we cleared everything out of the fridge. The spice rack's not all busy with a bunch of stuff sitting on it. They could have stuck a little icon on top of it, but again, much, much cleaner and easier to see than that was. Let me show you one other thing that is very common in real estate setup is a lot of times people will do weird setups in a room that's uncommon. You don't want to do that. Sometimes people will put a bed, instead of a bed being up against the wall centered with nightstands on either side, a lot of times we'll see some people put the bed diagonal down the center of the room. Don't want to do that. You want, if there's a reason that you're trying to make room by doing it that way, you want to solve that problem by removing one of the furniture pieces and putting the room normal. Check this out. This is a game room, okay? Now you got all this junk on the bar and the table is set diagonal through the room, which actually photographs really poorly. This was the previous agent shot. This was our setup on the same room. Just nice, square, nothing on the bar, and then the table. And when we actually have a wide angle of that same room, you would have seen it's just much better set up, okay? Let me show you a couple more. All right, so in this next shot, I wanna show you a kitchen done right and a kitchen done wrong, okay? So this was a before shot. We sold this house after the first agent had on the market. This might be what we would call a typical showing setup. Like if you had a buyer inside the home, this is pretty clean. And you might be looking at this saying, well, what's the problem? There's too much on the counter. That is the shot that you need for photos. You want very little up there. So this is a much cleaner shot than this one. There's the big convection oven. This thing is really tall. And the more stuff that you have stacked up on counter space, it's just not helpful for the, showing the property off in video and online. Here's another shot. Okay, so this is the before, same kitchen, opposite direction. You got a rice cooker, bananas, some warmer thing, teapot, stuff, magnets on the fridge. This is the former agent's picture. This is ours in the same direction. Notice what we left. That's a commercial toaster. That's a commercial looking, a higher feature toaster, a commercial mixer, a block of knives, things like that. Leave those behind. You don't want a ton of things on a 3-foot stretch of counter space. You have one thing here in the corner and then a nice big stainless steel finish appliance. And even this would have been optional. I would have been like, hey, we could keep it, we could get rid of it. We took the stuff off the top of the fridge and it's just a much cleaner kitchen. Something I didn't mention, don't leave mats in the floor. You can see that mat here, we get rid of those. We do not want mats in the floors of any of our properties when we're actually going to shoot them, okay? So if you have floor mats in your bathrooms and kitchens on day of shoot, you want to get rid of those. So let me show you another one, okay? So this house, same deal, a lot of stuff in it. And this owner, really sweet person, we're still friends, but they had a lot of challenges of getting rid of this stuff. They did not have a lot of place to put it. But this is the before picture. You'll notice, see the nightstand? Family photo, candle, something, something, something. This is the before picture. This is someone else had the listing before us. And even though this is more than I want in it, this is the after picture. Okay, you'll notice we went a long way to try to get rid of a lot. Took stuff off of this top, took a lot of the things off of this. This is not as lean as I would wanted, but you can see the contrast of both pictures, that it definitely looks a lot better. Concept in real estate is the cluttered mind does nothing. If you have too much going on in a shot, the buyer's mind, they're just going to try and say, it's too much going on, I got to look at something else. Check this out. So you can see from this particular shot, in the left side of the photo here on the doorway, there's stuff, there's stuff, there's stuff, there's stuff all over the walls, just hanging stuff everywhere. And if you kind of go over here, let me give you the after effect. Look at the restage. Just clean, just nothing there. You know, the owner probably thought to themselves like, wow, my house is empty, but that is how you want it to look. All right, so take a good look at this room, okay? Because this kind of encapsulates a lot of what I want to say. There's stuffed animals on the couch. There's rugs on the floor. The caddy-cornered pool table, which I showed you this on a previous shot. There's stuff in the corners, on the walls. Look at this, family photos galore. This is a perfect before and after shot to show you guys. Take a look at the finished reset, okay? So notice, just display on the end, the corner's nice and clear. The walls, there's only one sconce on either side. The table looks great in the next room. There's nothing on the floor. There's nothing on top of the couches. It's just leaner. We didn't get rid of everything. You'll notice there's stuff that's displayed on either side of the TV, but it's just a lot leaner. And that's what's super important. So, you know, as we talk about setting up a room, I need to tell you that chances are there's probably too much stuff in your house, okay? When you have usable space like a bedroom, it's very common that you put a bed and two nightstands, and then you put a ficus tree in the corner and then a lamp in the other corner, and then you put a desk so the kid can work. All those things, you want a basic setup. You want a bed, two nightstands, and nothing else. In most smaller rooms that are 10 by 12, there's just always usually way too much stuff. Our bedrooms, we start adding things like tables that stretch out our back. We add treadmills and exercise equipment. We add additional massage chairs. We add all kinds of different things that do not help the photography and video process. So like when you have a room, okay, listen, when a person is trying to see how big your house is, they're scanning the room on a photo or in video, and they're looking at open space. So when you look at a flat dimensional item like a photo, you're actually, the mind is able to see how big the space is by the open spaces, particularly the corners. And most homeowners are very good about filling up the room all the way to the corners. My bigger pet peeve, the ways, just basic things that you'll do to set up your house the right way, change those lights, get all the family heirloom photo type stuff, niche family-based stuff out of the rooms, and then clear the corners. Don't cover the corners with more stuff. Get rid of the corner stuff, get rid of additional furniture pieces, and then you'll end up clearing a lot of what's on the walls. So if you have very busy spots are not a good thing on the walls. Where you have multiple pieces, you want to thin those areas out. You want more room. And my best advice for any home seller, when in doubt, take it out. if you're ever on the line, whether or not something should stay in the room, get rid of it. You'll never go wrong with over leaning out a room, okay? You only need the basics. You only need the basics. If you're in a dining room area, dining room table and some chairs, that's it. If there's a big vase behind the table and there's a big buffet behind that and there's all this stuff, chances are there's too much going on. And listen, if a buyer cannot see the home, then you're not selling them your furniture, not as a first goal. So the more empty, the more cleared out it is, the better your home is going to photograph and video, and the faster it's going to sell, and the less hurdles you're going to have. Okay, if you have any evidence of water staining or a leak that took place anywhere, you need to look for that and remedy it. If you look even in your garage, there's homes that we've went and I've represented a buyer buying the house, and there was a garage, there was moisture on the garage ceiling. The seller of the house didn't even know it, and then we're negotiating off inspection money. Water staining, previous baseboards that have water staining, agents are looking for that. You want to deal with that. So don't leave that out. Don't leave things that become this onion that buyers peel back saying, well, I see that as a problem. Maybe there's more. Okay. So things that are deferred maintenance items that are glaring, like a cracked tile against the back wall that's taking in moisture, and a shower enclosure. Something like that is moisture concerns are always a very top priority in Florida. Exterior stucco cracking, those are stuff that's really simple to remedy, that just becomes an issue. Get your air conditioner serviced before your home is inspected, okay? Every inspector looks inside of a unit and they always say the M word, which is mold, when they've never tested it, and there's always discoloration inside those units if they haven't been serviced recently. So avoid that, okay? Because guess what? When a buyer sees the word mold, depending on who they are, they get super scared, okay? So kind of going a little bit down the list, but I want to do a thorough job of making sure that you have awareness of what to expect when it comes time to actually put your house on the market. But don't skip, okay? It also makes it incredibly tough if our photographer shows up and the house is not ready to photograph. So we're trying to go a long way to helping you. If you do want a resource who can come on the ground and help you, we have some resources, movers, and also staging companies that can give you hands-on resources that you pay by the hour. It's not too bad, very reasonable, to help you box up and help you set up. And obviously we don't charge for those services, but we definitely can make them available for you if you find that you would want that. All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity of getting your home sold. We're grateful to be partnering with you in this. And we look forward to getting you on to where your real estate goals take you. We'll talk to you real soon.
Buying a home in Central Florida is expensive. The Jones Group leverages latest technology and passes the savings on to you. Sellers list your home for just 1%. Buy a home with Jones Group, you get a $7,000 cash rebate at close. Don't let anyone you know buy or sell a home before talking to us.